Hello, viewers. This is Paladin of Odin, and this is some more Magic the Gathering Online. This is another episode of the Standard Commentary Series, and it looks like we've got green-white tokens versus blue-white control. Green-white currently has a Throbbing Inspector, Knight of the White Orchid, and a Hanweir Militia Captain. He's throwing out a Declaration in Stone to get rid of Thing in the Ice. I have to say, I was a little bit surprised there that blue-white didn't have a response. Ooh, Thalia's Lieutenant. And again, no response. So, Green White has a nice little team here now. A 2-3, 3-3 first strike, and a 3-3. And popping the clue token. So, Hanweir Militia Captain needs how many? 4 creatures? Beginning of your upkeep. Okay, so that'll transform on his next turn. So, 2-3 versus 2-3, they bounce off of each other. Control takes 6 damage and goes down to 12. Now, the good news is that he's got Jace, so he's going to draw a card here, possibly get an answer that he needs. Epiphany at the Drown Yard is discarded. 5 mana, so he could have Planar Outburst or, okay, Declaration in Stone on Thalia's Lieutenant. Honestly, in this particular instance, I think I would have gone for the Militia Captain, since, you know, granted Thalia's Lieutenant gets a buff every time you play a human, but that requires him to play humans. This guy, on the other hand, has a power and toughness equal to the number of creatures he controls. That's regardless of if he plays a human. Okay, so 2-3, 2-3, blocking with Jace so that he can tap and flip him. So effectively preventing 3 damage. So blue-white's going to take 3 here unless he gets a card that he wants to use to get rid of this Hanweir Militia Captain. Oh, nice trick. Dramoka's command after he tapped, negate in response to guarantee that Jace is going to flip. But that is a nice trick, waiting for him to activate Jace and then throwing out the Dramoka's command to kill it. But he is playing against a control deck, so you had to expect a counterspell at some point. In fact, I'm surprised that he hasn't played 1 or 2 more at this late stage. Tireless Tracker. Blue-white could really use a planar outburst or something similar right about now. If he could manage that, that would let him Declaration in Stone, flashback with Jace to get rid of the Tireless Tracker. I was just about to say, if he could manage to throw something out like a Planar Outburst and clear the board, he'd immediately gain momentum in this game because he'd have Jace and the board would be clear and he'd have a card advantage. But unfortunately, he didn't have it. He had to kill whatever creature he felt was the most threatening. Rift's Boon on the Knight of the White Orchid. Void Shatter. Countered and it's exiled. So no flying 4-3 first strike for you. But at the same time, he's only got 1 blocker. And unless he wants that blocker to die, he's going to be taking 6 damage here. Because honestly, oh, he's going for Jace. Wow, I was not expecting that. Though, if he had left Jace up, he could have flashed back to the other Declaration in Stone. But at the same time, you would have almost guaranteed gotten through for 6 there and taken him down to 3. Swift Reckoning from blue-white. It's a very nice card. and a Declaration in Stone. So goodbye Knight of the White Orchid, goodbye Hanweir Militia Captain, and tokens is down to a 2/3, which blue-white can handily block with his own 2/3. But now he is measuring, should I attack here? Since he's open, it'd basically be 2 free damage, but at the same time, he is low on health, so having a blocker there just in case is a much better choice. So, end of turn collected company gets him double Lamholt Pacifist. Unfortunately, he does not have a creature with 4 power, so these two are just 3/3 blockers. But the good news is that Tokens has a crap ton of clue tokens and a lot of mana to spend. So if he doesn't have anything to play, he can draw cards and hopefully draw something. 4 mana. Declaration in Stone to get rid of the 2/3, and another Lamholt Pacifist. Alright, that clears the way, so 2 more damage. Blue-white will be down to 7. The good news for blue-white is green-white has 3 creatures that can't do anything right now. So 1 Reflector Mage clears his attackers, gets rid of the Throbbing Inspector, which he can play next turn, but now it won't be a 2/3. So if he decides to attack in with it, the Reflector Mage will just eat it. So pop in a clue token to draw a card. 3 mana. No? A Duskwatch Recruiter would be really helpful for him right now, since it looks like he's having trouble getting creatures that he needs. And he has an abundance of mana that he obviously can't really put to very good use. Oh, holy crap. Always watching. And blue-white concedes. I was going to say, he has to counter that here, or he's going to be attacked by 3 4/4 vigilance creatures, and he can only block 1. So he must not have had a counter for that, or, some kind of a response to bounce a creature or something. So, concede. Let's see how long this video is so far. You know what? It's almost 8 minutes, so I'm gonna go ahead and do game 2. Hopefully it won't last very long. That way I can keep this video under, say, 12 minutes. Okay, first turn Throbbing Inspector from green-white. Throbbing Inspector isn't a very aggressive start, but, any first turn drop versus a control deck is better than no first turn drop. And with the way blue-white control works, you're more likely to actually be able to get to use your clue tokens. I have in the past talked a lot of crap about clue tokens. I still don't like them. I think that the whole investigate mechanic is garbage, but in certain matchups where you're almost guaranteed to have a long game, unless, for example, green-white had a ridiculously good start, clue tokens can be sort of helpful. So Lamholt Pacifist, no creature or no spells are played, so it flips to the Butcher, so he can attack with it now. That's 5 power on the board. And in go the 5 power. Response from blue-white is Compelling Deterrence to bounce the Butcher. So he'll be taking 1 damage this turn, and most likely green-white is going to replay the Butcher. Unless, of course, he has something that he'd rather play at 3, like Tireless Tracker or something like that. Oh, and speak of the devil. Reflector Mage! Goodbye, Tireless Tracker. You know, having back-to-back things like that really puts a damper on Green White's momentum. You know, bouncing his big 4/4, and then him playing another creature, you know, on curve for 3, and then you bouncing that as well, and making it so he can't play it. Really wrecking his momentum. But Lamholt Pacifist, another land, so next turn he'll have possibly 5 mana if he plays a land that doesn't come into play tapped. But blue-white goes with Declaration in Stone on the Lamholt Pacifist. Since Declaration in Stone is a sorcery, you don't really have the option of hoping to hit something better. Like, for example, the Lamholt Pacifist couldn't attack unless it got flipped, or unless he did something like played Always Watching or tricked a Dramoka's Command to make it a 4/4. So, horribly awry on the Knight of the White Orchid. So, Knight of the White Orchid is now exiled. And popping a clue token. But like I was saying with Declaration in Stone, you know, it is a great answer to a great many problems you will find in Standard. But the only real problem is situations like that where it's like, you know, if he doesn't have anything, it's just going to be a 3/3 that can't attack. I could save the Declaration in Stone for something more important, or, you know, if he plays another one, then I can get 2 for 1. So Tireless Tracker from Green White gets Void Shattered. That's 3 creatures down and all of them in exile. In goes the Reflector Mage for 2. No blocks from Green White, so he's down to 18. Second main phase, Blue White throws down another Reflector Mage to get rid of the Throbbing Inspector. Ooh, and Declaration in Stone to get rid of the Reflector Mages, but a negate gets rid of Declaration in Stone. I was going to say, Blue-White was down to 1 card, so kind of fortuitous for him that it was a negate so that he could save his Reflector Mages, because they're pretty much the only thing he's got going for him right now. So in go the Reflector Mages for 4. Green-White's down to 14. And now is the tipping point. Blue-White is top decking, basically. Oh. Okay, Blue-White concedes. Honestly, I don't see how that was the end of the game, but then again, he was top decking, basically. And if Collected Company hit 2 good creatures, it was possible that Blue-White could have drawn an answer, but at the same time, every threat on the board puts him farther and farther behind in momentum, given the card advantage that Green and White had over him at the time. So that might be the reason why he decided to concede there. But unfortunately, that's the end of the video. That was Green-White Tokens versus Blue-White Control. And if you liked what you saw, hit that like and subscribe button for me, and I'll see you in the next video.